Hello and welcome to Showcase. If you didn't catch our first episode, then you're missing out. We went behind the scenes of Ipswich Musical Theatre's production of Strictly Ballroom, went under the paintbrush with Aboriginal artist Shane Ambrum and spoke with the talented singer and songwriter Nicolette Harper. If that doesn't quite get you bouncing in your seats, then I'm positive today's show will. I've got an army of artists lined up for you in the program. Have you ever wanted to customise and build your own guitar? Many Brisbane musicians are getting tools ready and getting their hands dirty. Andrew Armstrong has put together a workshop where musicians can go along and do exactly that.
My name's Andrew Armstrong and I own and run the Brisbane Guitar Making School. Well, the Brisbane Guitar Making School is a facility here in Sumner Park where I guide students through making their own guitar. So it's not a school in the sense of a school with a fixed curriculum where people come and get a certificate of qualification. It's a school where people come and learn how to make the guitar they want to make. And they'll make 1, 2, 3, 4 guitars depending on what they want to do. I've had people from 17 to 70, men, women, people with no woodworking experience, people with lots of woodworking experience, people who play guitar, people who don't play guitar. Really, anybody might be interested in doing this. It's about the experience of making a guitar, and it's about getting yourself away from what you do in your life and doing something practical with your hands and making a beautiful instrument like these ones behind me.
I work in real estate. I'm a development manager and investment manager for large-scale retail property development. These are my second 2 guitars. I made a guitar for myself originally, so I was just starting to learn how to play, and then I came across the website saying, you know, make your own guitar. I thought that was pretty cool, and I thought I could have the enjoyment of making a guitar and having the one I wanted as well. Then I finished that and I loved it, so I'm making one each for my kids. I'm making them all pretty much exactly the same, except I'm putting their name on each of the headstocks, so they'll be, you know, sisters and sister guitars. And I think I've chosen some pretty high quality finishes, and the idea is, yeah, it's a keepsake for them.
So I'm Ian Bowman, and outside of here I'm a counsellor. I work with lots of very interesting people who've got some different challenges. I thought this was a basically good therapy for a counsellor, in that it's doing something that involves being present while you're doing it, involves using your hands, and it's just something you can sort of move along at your own pace.
My name is Stuart Kruger. I was online and then I found this school in Brisbane. I was quite surprised that this existed, and I came along and I spoke to Andrew, and he made it quite clear that the reason for coming here wasn't necessarily because you wanted another guitar. It was more, you know, it was like learning about yourself as much as learning about making an instrument. And I thought, well, you know, that sounds good.
So, one of the differences about the Brisbane Guitar Making School is that we focus on guiding you to make the guitar you want to make. I think that's what really differentiates us.
I'm building an acoustic guitar, so I've got the soundboard and the back of the car just about done, but there's still a long way to go. If you've got an interest in doing it, go ahead and do it. It's quite fun, it's a good group over here, so we have a good time.
If this is something you would like to do, head over to armstronglutherie.com.au. Now, you can't deny how beautiful flower arrangements can be, but have you thought of the effort that goes into creating them? Let's see for ourselves how the wonderful Angela Jacob goes about it.
Hi, I'm Angela Jacob. I'm the owner, manager, principal designer here at Brussel Florist. I've been doing it for 28 years, and this is it. This is me. have no plan when I start the arrangement. It is just a creation, and I believe that it is a gift I've been given by God, and that's something that I believe in very strongly. And the inspiration comes from Him and His creation. It's just been always something that I've been interested in. Even just, I like particular flowers, things I like to go and wander around in my grandma's house when we go there on Sunday afternoons. Just been a passion all my life. I just love flowers and their fragrance and that sort of thing. So it's just a joy, absolute joy. Each flower is unique. Each leaf is different, each stem goes its own way, and therefore any arrangement I make is different. Even if I have the same components, each one expresses a different emotion, each one's coming from somebody different. The relationship between the people is different, and because each flower has its own expression, when I put them together, the end result is different, and it is an art form, it absolutely is, because you can't repeat creation. Each creation is unique, like each of our fingerprints are, everyone has a different fingerprint. It's the same with the flowers. They are their own little people. I choose my flowers to convey a message or speak an emotion through the colours and the shapes and the types of flowers. So if it's a very sorrowful, like the softer whites and greens, that sort of colouring. For like get wells, I go with softer healing colours, the soft greens, lemons, apricots, pinks, that sort of thing. Soft mauve, those sort of colours are the ones I like to use for get wells and things. We have a lot of interesting things. We have little wire cages and picket fence containers. We do arrangements in hats. We do them with scarf boxes around. We have very exciting for me to have different containers to make them up in as well, because it's like, what could I put in this one? It just makes it more interesting. And if I believe if I am passionate and excited when I'm making the arrangement comes to life more. There's all of the things that I learned at college as well, like you need to have feature flowers in the focal area of the arrangement, there's line and design, creating space, using space, but so far as when I create an arrangement, I don't actually have an idea what I'm going to put where. It's like which colours, that one doesn't quite look right, I'll pull out a different, yes, that looks right, that feels right. More so feels right than looks right. It's strange not to be able to say, well, I always do this, this and this, and these ones go there, and because that's just not how it is for me. It's a gift, and a gift of love, even though I'm creating it on somebody else's behalf. I know that it's going to be a gift of love, and I think of the joy or the comfort or the healing or whatever that the arrangement will provide for the person that they're giving it to. And so there's no occasion I don't enjoy making flowers for, because each occasion for that person that receives the flowers, it is just the right thing that they need at that time. So it's really, really important. I might make 50 arrangements in a day, but for that person, they're receiving that one arrangement, and it is crucial that it expresses the right emotions for that person.
You can visit Angela at her shop in Brassel or call the number below. Earlier this week, Lydia sat down with creative author Belinda Messer, who writes children's stories about real topics in a very special way.
I'll pose you a question and see if you can answer. Imagine your young niece or nephew, son or daughter, comes up to you and asks you to explain the birds and the bees. What do? Freeze up, tell them they are not old enough, or try and Google something? To help you answer those questions, I have someone in today that you probably wouldn't expect to be able to help. Author Belinda Messer. Hi Belinda.
Hi Lydia, how are you?
Pretty good.
Thanks.
So Belinda, you write mature stories for a younger audience about everything and anything dealing with such topics as IVF, sexuality. Why do you write about these topics that you do?
I think it's important, firstly, for little kids to know the content of life's reality, I guess a lot of parents might shy away from the sticky questions or the tricky questions. I have never in our family. I've got 3 children, and I'm as honest as I can be with all of those children, age appropriately. Always age appropriately, of course.
So why do you choose to write for kids as opposed to writing adult topics for adults?
I think if I was to write on these topics for adults, I would need to have a lot more background knowledge. I would need to probably have been to university or become a doctor, or there's a lot of information that I don't have. As a mother, I have written in these children's books what I would like my children to know and other children to know, and then I've taken the books and had them looked at by well, it depends on which book it is, but psychologists or doctors, and just to make sure that the information is true and correct. But it really is all of my books are written in a very G-rated, appropriate level for 4 to 10 years.
So when talking about your books, do you think that adults who read them to their children have something to gain out of it as well as their children?
Absolutely, absolutely. Particularly in my 4th book, which is On the Wings of a Butterfly. This is a children's book on grief and loss. Not only will the child receive the benefit of the words inside the book, but I really, really wanted the mum and the dad or the grandparent or whoever adult is reading the book to feel and have the acknowledgement that their feelings are normal, and that those feelings of grief, they're steps to go through. And that was a big thing for me when writing it, that it was for the child and the parent.
So what other feedback have you received from adults and children who read your books?
I love feedback. It's actually my favourite thing. Because I'm self-published, I'm a little bit lazy in the fact that I don't put my books in for awards or things like that. I rely on customer feedback to come back to me. So for instance, when I receive an email or a messenger or through Instagram or Facebook, I really love it. I always recommend people, tell me what you think. How did you go when you read it with your children? The feedback has been fantastic. On my first book, which was an IVF story, this is a children's book on IVF. It really is a mum and a dad, can't have a child, making a baby. I co-authored this book, and when I first launched it, we had a lot of people buying it, and then a lot of people emailing and saying, but I'm same-sex marriage, or I had a donor, or surrogacy. There was lots of different questions posed. Can you write a book for this? Can you write a book for that? And that's why the next book, 21st Century Guide to the Birds and the Bees, was written, co-authored again, because it covered all the different ways a baby could be made. So natural conception, IVF, IUI, which is artificial insemination, surrogacy, donors, sperm and egg. Yeah, so I wanted to cover all of those different ways that a baby could be made. And I also just flick to the last page for me, Lydia. I'll do it if you like.
Sure thing. There we are.
I really like this part because we're pushing the boundary by writing this book in the first place for such a young age group. But it's very Disney, it's very G-rated, so you might get giggles from the child, but there's no audible gasp, and the parents can say the words because they're okay. But I really like this last page. And I wrote, so you see, there are many extra special ways to make a baby. Which incredible way were you made? Now, the reason that was written is the question is now posed to the mum and dad. To please explain. So, and I really wanted that. I wanted the children to open a conversation. These books are all conversation starters, right? So I'm not the doctor writing the book. I'm the mum that's giving the bare information at a children's level, and then they can go from there, take it from there.
I just want to say as well, the artwork in your book is absolutely gorgeous. How did you settle upon this art style?
This is my cousin. I am truly blessed. Jessica Smith. She goes by Art of Jess online. She is an amazing computer graphics designer. So her dream is to make beautiful video games. But in the meantime, I'm like, hi, can you do me some books? So I would send her, this is what I want on this page, and she would take it from my brain and put it on the page. She did an amazing job.
Do you work with her regularly on each book?
She's done all 4 of my books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you've hosted the Brave Arts High Tea Garden Party for 4 years running. This deals with children understanding their body and what is and isn't safe. Why is dealing with more than just writing about children's books important to you?
Brave Hearts are incredibly important to me. Well, let's jump back probably 8 years, and I didn't know who they were. I received an email, because I paint as well, oil paintings, and I had to have a website. And I had an email in my inbox saying, we found your website, we're Braveheart's a charity, an Australian wild charity. We've built a head office in Arundel. Can you paint something for the office? And I'm like, sure, I'll do that for you. And then I Googled them. I'm like, who's Bravehearts? And then the statistics hit me. So do you know who Bravehearts are?
Yes.
Yeah, so Hetty Johnson started this charity, and the statistics are 1 in 5 Australian children will be sexually abused by the time they are 18 years old. And for me, having 2 little girls at the time, looking around that prep classroom thinking, so 5 of you children will be sexually assaulted by the time you're 18, really got me. And I, immediately affiliated with them. And so when I wrote these books, I got in contact with them, particularly with the second book, 21st Century Guide to the Birds and the Bees. And I went down and I met with Kayleen, who's the daughter of Hetty Johnson, and we just wanted to talk about some kind of collaboration. I really wanted to give back, and we came up with the Hats for High Tea Garden Party. And basically it's a soiree that we throw every year. There's me and probably 8 to 10 ladies helping me because it's such a big event, and we just raise funds for Braveheart. So it's 100% for Braveheart, and to date we've I think the digits are about $57,000 that we've raised through.
Amazing.
These are mums, these are not corporate tables we're selling, these are mums coming to this event, having a fantastic time and raising money for the kids.
So you've written incredible books, you've worked with incredible organisations. What's the next move for you?
So I'm always wondering that myself. I do have 2 books on the back burner. One is with a fantastically talented Tasmanian artist where we're sending that around to publishers at the moment, and it's a children's book for bedtime. It's very sweet. It's rhythmical and rhyming. And then I've got another one sitting with a Brisbane-based publisher, and it's a lovely book. It's my favourite, and it's called Australia Rules, and it's a children's book. Again, perfect for parents as well, a little bit older, between 8 and 12 years old, the age group would be, but perfect for the mums and dads as well, because not only will the children be learning about our rich history, which, you know, the Aboriginal Dreamtime, the landing of the first fleet, colonisation, you know, colloquialisms of Australia, how we speak, you know, we say some pretty strange things in our,
Just a bit.
in our language. So it's really great for new Australians as well as born here Australians.
Well, I'm so excited for your next move and to see what's next for you. Thank you so much, Belinda, for coming in today.
My pleasure.
If you want to purchase any of her books, jump onto her website belindamessercreative.com.au. And to wrap up the show, we have a very special performance by Grace Christensen. Make sure you head over to our Facebook page to find out more about our guests and to see what the Phoenix Media team are up to. And now, Grace Christensen.